We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everyone. In our last lecture, we had started looping statements in C and we had already discussed while loop into it. We also discussed few example related to it in Turbo C++. Now today we are going to discuss about do while loop. Do while loop is an exit control loop where the condition is checked later. We already discussed in while loop condition is checked before and then statement will execute, but in the while loop we also see that things into syntax also. We only mention do over here, then we are mentioning statements. It means the body of the loop and then we are going to check the condition. Okay, so in do while loop, condition is checked later at least once the body of the loop will be executed. The condition is not written over here first, so the control of the program will go like this. Okay, and the at least once these statements inside the body of the loop will executed and then the condition is checked, so we can say that at least once the body of the loop will be executed. Okay, we have to keep mind that over here after the while and condition we must have to mention semicolon. We'll take an example is same as last example, that is write a program to display first n numbers. If we are taking n equal to 10, then we have to print 1 to 10 numbers over here. So how it can be possible? We already discussed that things in our last lecture, that we have to start with the value I. It means we have to initiate the value with I. We have initiate the value by 1, then we have to go up to 10. So for example, or we can say go up to n. So I less than or equal to n. Okay, we'll check the example. What is the difference between while and do while loop? Okay, so we initiated the value by 1, then we are writing the statements over here and that statements are inside the body of the loop, that is printf percentage d slash n and I. Over here instead of percentage d the value of I will be printed. Okay, then after this printf statement we are incrementing the value of I by 1. Okay, now then executing this statements we are going to check the condition. Okay, so this condition is I less than or equal to n. Okay, so if this condition is true, then and then control of the program is go over here. Now we'll move towards our next example, that is write a C program which finds the summation of all integer numbers between 1 to 0. Okay, so we see same example in our last lecture, but we solved that example with while loop. Over here we are using do while loop instead of this, and the change is over here is only we are writing do instead of while, and at the end of loop we are mentioning the condition with while statement, that is while inside the bracket we are mentioning the condition, that is I less than or equal to 10. Now in this body of the loop we are mentioning the statement, and that statements are nothing but sum equals to sum plus I and I plus plus. Okay, now we'll check how this program will be executed. So firstly it is initiated with I equals to 0. So for example value of I at initial stage is 1. Okay, and the value of sum at initial stage is 0. Okay, the control is good to the do statement, then it is entered into the body of the loop. Now this first statement is executed and this is nothing, sum equals to sum plus I. So sum equals to sum plus I. Initial value of sum is 0 and initial value of I is 1. So the new value for the sum variable is now 1. Okay. Now we are incrementing the value of I by 1. So now the new value of I will be 2. Now control goes to the while statement and inside this while statement condition is checked. That condition is I less than or equal to 10. It means 2 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. That's why control is now given to the body of the loop. Now these statements are executed once again. Now the sum equals to sum plus I. Over here, over here, some value of sum is 1 and the value of I is 2. So new value of sum will be 3. Okay. Next statement is I plus plus. The value of I will be 3. Okay, and now the condition is checked, that is 3 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true, so control is now goes to go again to the body of the loop. These statements are executed multiple times. Now when this loop is terminated, when the value of I will be 11, then the condition over here is will be like this: 11 less than or equal to 10, and now condition is false, then the control of the program will be now given over here. Okay, so now this statement is executed, that is printf summation is percentage %d. So over here the value of sum will be printed. So at the end of this program the value of sum is 55, so it will printed sum equals sum is percentage %t. Okay, that's it for this program. Now we'll see some more example with the use of turbo c++. We'll start with the first, that is write a C program to sum the individual digits of a given positive number. Okay, now first we have to discuss that how to find the sum of individual digit of a number. So first we have to separate the digit from a number. So we can, if we can have an example like this 5 6 7, then we have to separate 5 6 and 7, then we have to do the summation of this number. So it will be like this: 5 plus 6 plus 7, that equals to 18. So 18 will be our answer. So how we can do this? Okay, so in yes in our last lecture we had discussed about reverse number, and in that reverse number we are separating these things. How we can do that? So we have to take the reference of modulo by 10. The same concept we are using over here. Okay, if I am giving this number to this I variable, then we have to use I modulo 10. Okay, it means 5 6 7 modulo 10. So it will give a reminder, and that reminder is nothing but the last digit, and it is nothing but 7. So I will store this 7 value into the R. Okay, same process I have to go for net iteration. For next iteration I have to use these remaining digits, and for it I have to write I divide by 10. It will give us, for example, 5 6 7 divide by 10, it will give me 56. Now this 56 I will use for our next iteration. So in next iteration we'll do 56 modulo 10, and it will give us 6. Same we will repeat for last, that is for 5, and it will give us 5. Now we are doing the summation of these three number, and it answer of this is our output of our program. Okay, so we'll start with one by one. firstly we have to take input from user for which number they want to do the sum of individual digits. Okay, so user will write these two statements, printf statement and scanf statement, in the program, and of this is over here. Now we have to give this inputted number to the variable, and that variable is I. Okay, and we are writing this statement over here. Okay, now what is the logic behind this problem? So that logic we will write inside the do statement. Do statement, but before that we have to initialize a value, because we have to find sum. So we are initializing the value sum equals to 0, and we'll write these things over here. Okay, next is to find the remainder. For that we are using r equals to r modulo 10. Okay, then we are doing the summation of this remainder. So for that we are writing sum equals to sum plus r. Okay, so it will give us the summation of the remainder, and then for next iteration we are doing I equals to I divide by 10. Okay, this logic will write over here inside the body of the loop and instead of statement. Okay, and at the end we'll write the condition, because till now in do while loop we are not mentioning the condition. So over here we are mentioning the condition, and what will be the condition? So it will be I greater than 0. Okay, and we will print the value of sum over here. Okay, now we'll see the demonstration of this program into turbo C++. Okay, so we'll start our program. I already mentioned the header files over here. I already mentioned the main function over here. Now we'll start with the declaring the variable. For that we are taking integer as a data type, and then we are using I. We have to take input from user, so that for that we are using number, and I'm taking sum, and I'm initializing this variable sum with 0. Okay, then we are writing the function for the clear the screen, and this is clr scr. Okay, now we'll take input from the user, that is printf. We are passing a message to user that enter a positive number. Okay, after it we'll write scanf function for taking the input from user, and for that we are write scanf inside the bracket. We are writing the inverted comma, and inside the inverted comma we are writing percentage d comma and person number. Okay, so it will take the input from user and it will store in the variable number. Now we are going to pass this inputted value into I, that is I equals to number. Okay, now we are writing a loop, that is do. Okay, at the end of loop we are writing while. Okay, and then we have to write condition inside this while loop, and condition for our program is I greater than 0. Keep in mind that we must have to write semicolon at the end of do while loop. Now we are going to make the body of the loop. We are writing the statement over here. First we have to separate the digit from our number. For that we have to take a reminder. Okay, r equals to I modulo 10. Okay, we forgot to declare I, so I'm declaring it over here. Okay, back to the body of the loop. Then we have to do summation. So for that sum equals to sum plus r. Okay, and to moving to next iteration we have to change the value of I, and for that we have to write I equals to I divide by 10. Okay, that's it from the loop. Outside the loop we'll write printf as we already discussed in our discussion. Okay, so if I want to write like this, summation of individual digits of number percentage d is percentage t. So at first percentage d will print the value of number, and at the second percentage d will print the value of sum. So output will be like this: summation of individual digits of number 5, 6, 7 is 18. Okay, after this we'll write get ch. Okay, now our program is ready. Now we are going to check there is some error or not. Before that, we'll save our program by pressing F2. Then we are going to check there are some error or not. We have to compile our program, and for that press Alter F9. Okay, we can check over here there is no error. Now we are going to execute our program. To run our program, for that we have to press Control F9. Okay, it is asking us enter a positive number. For example, we are pressing 567. Okay, so it will gives summation of individual digits of number 567 is 18. Okay, so that's it for this program. Now we'll see one more example, and that is write a C program to find the sum and average of different number which are accepted by user as many as user want. First, we'll understand what is as many as user want. Okay, so there is no predefined range over here. If user want to enter three number, he or she can enter 3. If user want to enter 10 number, he or she can enter 10. It means the decision will be taken at the time of run. So how we can do it? Okay, and second thing over here is find the sum and average of the different number. So if user enter 3 number, we have to find the summation of these 3 number and also average of 3 number. If user enter n numbers, then we have to find the summation of n numbers and the average of n numbers. How can we achieve this both thing? First, we have to take sum and average variable, and we are initializing both with 0. Okay, okay, now next we have to take input from user. Now what we can do to achieve this as many as user want? Okay, for that we have to ask a user that enter 0 to quit, and we must have to write this thing inside the loop, because if user want to quit after entering 3 number, so he or she will enter 0 to quit that program, and if we will write this thing outside the loop, then it is not any meaning. Okay, now we'll write a printf statement to ask a user for a number, and then we'll write scanf function, and scanf function will be like this: scanf percentage d and percent number. So whatever number will be entered by user, it will store into the number variable. Okay, now we are going to check the condition if user is entered 0 or not, because if user is entered 0, then we have to quit this program, and if user has not entered the 0, then we have to find sum and average of the numbers. Okay, so for that, if user not entered the 0, check the condition what we are writing: number not equals to 0. If user enter any other value instead of 0, then we have to find the summation, and for that we are writing sum equals to sum plus number, and we have to increase the count. We are taking a variable, and that variable is count. We are initializing this variable by 0. Why we are taking this count variable? To find the average. Okay, now this both statement will put inside the loop. Okay, this statement is repeat and repeat till user enter 0. If user first enter some value, for example user enter first 3. Okay, so the value of sum will be 0 plus 3, so it will be 3 now. Okay, and count is increased, so count's value, initial value is 0, now it will be 1. Okay, now when we have to stop this program, okay, for that we have to write condition inside the loop, and that condition is nothing, that condition is number not equals to 0. Till that this loop will be executed. If the number is 0, then this loop will terminate it. Okay, as we discussed about this number 3, if user enter 3 number, first number is 3, then we'll write like this, then the sum is equal to 0 plus 3, so it is 3, and count equals to 1. Okay, now next number entered by user is 4, then the new value for the sum is equal to 3 plus 4, it is 7, and next is count will be now 2. Okay, and if user now entered 8, so what will be the next value of summation? So the next value of summation will be 15, and the value of count will be 3. Okay, so if now user enters 0, then the condition is checked if number not equals to 0. So over here now this condition is false, so this statement will not executed, and control is now given to this condition. Now condition is checked, and over here condition is also this, that is number not equals to 0. Over here this condition is also false, so loop will terminated and will now calculate the average. What will be the equation for calculating the average? So it is average equals to sum divided by count. If we are taking about entering 3, 4 and 8, then we have a summation that is 15 and count is 3. Okay, so what will be the average of it? 5. Okay, so the value of summation and the average will be printed over here. Okay, now we'll take the demonstration of this program into the turbo C++. Okay, so over here I already mentioned the header files and main function. Okay, we are declaring the variable, and that variable is, firstly we have to take number from user, so that's why we are taking the variable number. Then we have to take sum equals to 0, then average, for average we have to use avg as a variable, and we are also initializing it with 0, and we are taking one more variable, that is count, and this is for nothing, to find the number of entered values. Okay, we are writing function for clear the screen, that is clr scr. Okay, now we are giving a message to user, just warning message, that if you want to quit the program you have to enter 0. Okay, so we'll write press 0 to exit the program. Okay, so this is how we can just inform to user that if you want to quit the program please enter 0. Okay, now we'll start the do while loop, also mentioning the while. Okay, we'll write condition inside the while loop also. Our condition is number not equals to 0. Okay, so and at the end of this while loop we must have to write semicolon over here. Now this loop will be executed till a number will be 0. Okay, now firstly we have to take input from user. For that we are asking to user for a number. Okay, so we'll write enter a number. Okay, user will enter the number. Okay, then we'll write scanf function. This function is for input the value. Okay, we'll write percentage d and n person number. Okay, by this user can enter the value. After entering the value we have to check that if the number is 0 or not, because if the number is 0 we doesn't have to do the summation and average. Okay, so we have to write number not equals to 0. If this condition is true, then and then we have to go for finding the summation. Okay, if the number is 0, then we doesn't require to do the summation. Okay, so for that we have to write sum equals to sum plus number. Okay, and we have to increase the value of count, and it is count plus plus. Okay, this value we are using for finding total number of values entered by user. Okay, that's it. After this loop we have a two value. The value is value of sum and value of count. Okay, so we have to print sum. So firstly we'll print the value of sum. Okay, and that is summation is percentage d. Okay, and instead this percentage d we have to write sum. Okay, and we'll write slash and also, because for average we have to print that value into the next line. Okay, now we'll write the equation for finding the average, and that we already discussed. Avg equals to sum divide by count, but we can note that the summation and count both are integer value and we are doing division, so the answer of this will be some floating point value. So we must have to declare our avg variable with float data type. So I am removing that from integer data type and I am declaring it with float data type, that is float avg that equals to 0. Okay, if I not write if I not initialize it with 0, that is then it is okay. Okay, now avg equals to sum divide by count. Okay, if we want our answer in floating point, we have to do casting over here, because we have to go from lower data type to higher data type, and for that automatic type conversion is not possible. We have to do typecasting. So over here we are doing typecasting by writing data type inside the bracket. We are writing float inside the bracket, so whatever will be the answer of it, it will be printed in floating point value. Now we are going to write printf statement to print the value of average. We'll write average is percentage f. Okay, and instead of this percentage f we'll write value of avg. Okay, that's it. After it we'll write gets it. That's it from coding side. Now we are saving our program by pressing f2 and checking our error by compiling our program, and to compile the program press alter f9. Okay, there is no error. Now we are going to run our program, and for that press control f9. Okay, now it is giving output like this. Press 0 to exit the program. It means whenever we want to exit our program we have to press 0, and up till you have to enter your numbers. For example, I am entering 10, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay, now I just want to enter this 5 number and I want to exit from here, so I have to write 0. Now our program is exit and it will give us a value of summation and average. Okay, so value of summation is 150 and value of average is 30.0. Okay, that's it from this example. That's it for this lecture also. In our next lecture, we'll discuss about for loop. Thank you.